Yobo! Welcome to another episode of In the Life with MightyFan. I get my wallet out because I gotta get ready to pay the parking in the garage. I am going to the great city of Philadelphia because, well, usually when I go there, it's for a couple reasons, right? It's either a Phillies game or some sort of sporting event, or come on, we know, right? We know. Mitchell & Ness flagship store. Yes, and today's a Mitchell & Ness flagship store day. They are doing a Memorial Day weekend. Happy Memorial Day to all of you out there watching this video right now. And if it's already after Memorial Day, I hope you had a great one. It is Saturday today of Memorial Day weekend, and Mitchell & Ness is doing a Memorial Day weekend sale online, and they're also doing it in store. It's not like one of their typical sales. I mean, the jerseys aren't part of it that I can tell online. Like, the only jerseys that were part of it, I have a little kink in my neck, so it's a little hard to turn my head. This is gonna make driving fun today. I think I slept wrong a couple nights ago. It's just a little nagging thing. But they had like some of the fashion jerseys on sale, but nothing like substantial, and I think online it's like 40% off. But in the store, they have, I guess in the back of the store, they're gonna have these sale racks, and it's like $10 t-shirts and maybe some other stuff. I think maybe some hats are involved, and then you have, the 50% off some of the swingman shorts for the NBA, stuff like that. I don't think it's any great shakes like, oh my God, this is, I don't want to go there. We're off to a rolling stop. I don't think it's like anything earth-shattering. Usually the Memorial Day sale, when they have it, isn't one of their, I would say, bigger sales. But it's an opportunity for me to get out and about. It's a beautiful day out today. It was frigid cold the last couple days, which is very unseasonable for late May around here, but rainy and so it's good today that we have some sunshine, and the weather, it's warmer today. I don't like it when it's overly hot. I don't like it when it's overly cold. It's like, what was that? Goldilocks and the Three Bears, when it's just right. It's just right. Today's just right. I wish it was like this all year round, right? But, so I figured, it's an excuse, and not that I ever really need one to go to Mitchell, but, it's an excuse for me to get out and about and do a little vehicle vlog with you, the wonderful people that watch my channel. And I want to give a special shout out as well to one of my viewers. Got a deal done on eBay, unexpectedly. It's a interesting story of how, see, this is how that, like, there's a domino effect and what jersey heads go through to get stuff, right? So I want to give a shout out to one of my viewers, Donnie from Massachusetts. Donnie, a fellow Eagles fan, and I know he's doing that in Patriots country, so it's a little tough. Although Patriots aren't very good these days. They're not very good at football these days, so maybe for a change, the Patriot fans are a little jealous of us. Ooh. But anyhow, hey, Adam. But anyhow, but he's holding it down for the Birds in Massachusetts, and we got a deal done for a couple authentic Kelly Green Eagle jerseys. As if, I mean, how many do I need? I need more. I keep needing them. Interesting story of how this all kind of played out. So Slim and I, we do tend to get in trouble sometimes with these jerseys, and actually this worked out though. So I'm sitting there yesterday. I was working from home yesterday, and I'm sitting there, and Slim's like hitting me up. There's like a sale going on. At first I thought it was Fanatics, but it ended up being NFL Shop, which is run by Fanatics, so it's basically the same thing. So a sale was going on, like 40% or whatever it was. There was a code, and he was getting some merch for the Eagles, some fitteds with the Eagle for the Super Bowl 52 championship. Well, I'm sure if they had those, he would be getting those too. But Super Bowl 59 champs stuff, and And he was, we were kind of going back and forth about that, and it wasn't just the certain items that were on sale. Basically anything was on sale, so it kind of got around to an about of a way that I found out that they because they had sold them out, but they restocked the Kelly Green Brandon Graham jerseys. And obviously he just retired this offseason, all-time great Eagle, 2 Super Bowl champions under his belt. Of course, the strip sack in Super Bowl 52. That's probably where 52 kind of came to mind a little earlier. But a great Eagle, all-time Eagle. And I wanted the Kelly Green jersey. I just couldn't get it. I have other BG jerseys, just not as Kelly Green. So I was like, I was on Fanatics, but I tried the code there and it wasn't working. And I'm like, Slim, this code isn't working. And it finally came around that, are you on the NFL shop? I said, no, I'm on Fanatics. And before I could do anything, Slim took a look on eBay, and he noticed that there was an authentic Kelly Green, authentic Kelly Green Brandon Graham, and the same seller was selling a Barkley as well in the Kelly Green authentic. And Slim's hitting him up, going back and forth with him, and Slim's telling me to hold off. And of course, I'm like FOMO here. I'm like, I want to get this jersey on NFL Shop while it's still available. And Slim's like, hold off. And Slim showed me the auction or the listing rather on eBay. He's like, look at this. What am I missing here? We're going back and forth. We ended up FaceTiming each other about. We're just kind of almost in a panic at this point. I'm showing him because he asked for to see the inside tagging. I have an authentic AJ Brown, Kelly Green, Nike, and so I'm doing that, and we're like, what are we missing? These, because they were below retail, these 2 jerseys, and so we're kind of just going back. Slim's going back and forth. And so everything's, we finally came to, everything's good. This is good. There's no fugazi going on here. We're good. Let's get it done. So I got the jerseys. I'm going to keep the Brandon Graham, and Slim's going to get the Barkley. And, we got both of them less than the price of one authentic, which is pretty crazy. But, Donnie seemed like a real good guy. And the funny thing we thought about it, too, is that Slim was the one communicating with him. I was kind of just sitting there wiping the sweat off myself afterwards, And in their conversations, Donnie mentioned that, because I'm the one that made the payment for the jersey, and based off my eBay name, Donnie asked, is that MightyFan from YouTube? So Donnie follows me, and he also follows Slim and Nostalgia Boy too. So on behalf of Slim and Nostalgia Boy, Donnie, I say thank you for the continued support, and Slim and I look forward to getting those jerseys, and they're just more for the arsenal. It's more for the arsenal because you can never have too much. I don't care what anyone says. God knows I know that. So I just thought that was a funny story. And that just goes to show what jersey heads will do. This is kind of the craziness that we do from time to time. So Slim, thanks to Slim too. Big shout out to Slim, because if Slim didn't see that, Slim and I wouldn't have these authentics coming our way. I mean, I would have taken the replica. I just wanted the Kelly Green Brandon Graham, but it being the authentic one, yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty damn cool. And Slim gets the authentic Kelly Green Barkley, which Slim and I were together at the Turtle in Maryland when Barkley made that reverse hurdle, which Slim missed. Sorry, Slim. Slim was worried about getting the games on all the TV. I saw the play, but I didn't know how to describe it to him. Slim, Barkley just, he hurled someone backwards. It's like a video game. But I think I'll always have fond memories of that play because I was with a good friend having a good time in a cool environment, watching that game against Jacksonville, and having that moment, you know. So anyhow, that's like one of the latest stories of MightyFan for the jersey collecting. It's you just never know, and you know, it's I told Slim, it's like just a big domino effect, and it's such a small world. And here we are with this eBay seller, and the eBay seller follows us on YouTube. So again, a big shout out to Donnie from Massachusetts. I even asked Slim, Donnie Wahlberg follows us? I don't know how often Donnie gets that, but Vince from Hallie's brother? I don't think Donnie Wahlberg's an Eagles fan. I think he's probably a Patriot fan, but that's okay. Not everyone can be perfect. It's all right. We know. They had their time. They had their 15 years and 6 titles and blah, 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 blah. But now it's our time. And the tush push lives on to the chagrin of the rest of the league. Because that play and that play alone is the only reason why the Eagles win games. Apparently. Listen. The Eagles ran the tush push when they lost Super Bowl 57. They ran the tush push the season after when they started 10-1 and the season ended in horrific fashion, with Slim and I at the frigid Meadowlands in Week 18, watching Saquon Barkley score as a Giant for the last time in his career, being heckled by, and when you get heckled by Giant fans, you know it's going to be a long day. Okay, so the Eagles are doing it then, and they lost. When they won the Super Bowl last season, now all of a sudden, teams want it banned. They didn't want it banned the last couple of years when the Eagles didn't win. As soon as they won, there's the reason. Because the Eagles aren't going to be good in any short yardage situation if you get rid of the tush push. They're not going to be good anymore. That's how you beat them. No. I'm sorry to break the hearts of many franchises in this league, but if they got rid of that play, or if they get rid of it after next season, guess what? I think Jalen Hurts is still going to be pretty good at quarterback sneaks, and I think that, handing the ball off to 26 is probably still going to get you first downs with this offensive line in front. Yeah, I think they'll still be okay. The thing that, and I'm not going to keep. I'm tired of the look. I live here. I listen to sports talk radio. The tush push became this huge topic of conversation that I'm tired of. To be honest with you. But the thing that bugged me the most is when McDermott got on his high horse about it. The Buffalo Bills run that play the second most time behind the Eagles, and Sean McDermott's talking about quarterback safety. I'm sorry, Sean, your quarterback runs that play wrong. He tries to dive over the line instead of burrowing under, which you're supposed to do on that play for it to be successful, as Jalen's able to do. But no, your guy, Allen, jumps over the line. And look, was that a first down in the AFC title game? I believe it was. But why didn't it look like one? Because Allen went sideways on that play. He got turned sideways. If he would have burrowed under like the Eagles do, that would have been a first down, and the Buffalo Bills probably go to the Super Bowl. But because Josh Allen, as he's done, and it always, when I watch him do it, I always say, why the hell is he always jumping over the line? But he always, on that play, on their version of the tush push, or whatever they call it in Buffalo, Josh Allen's always jumping over. And you can stop the play by doing it, because all you have to do is meet him at the point of attack. You can't really, it's harder to do that with Jalen because he's burrowing under with all this great offensive line in front of him. And yeah, he squats 600 pounds. That may have been said a time or two in games. But he goes under. That's what you're supposed to do on that play. And the other thing, I think people don't give him enough credit because that's a play, and I know I'm an Eagles fan saying this, so take it for what it is. But on that, you can fumble the ball very easily on that play. The fact that Jalen doesn't fumble the ball on regular occasion on that play, I think is a testament to Jalen and his strong hands. He holds on to the ball. He can fumble. You can hit a lineman. You can fumble the ball. He has fumbled it from time. He gets on top of it. It's a play that they have a lot of success with, and I get that. But it is a dangerous play to run because there is a good probability of losing the football on that play. You have a lot of people diving on you. You have to go forward, running behind. Anything can happen, on that play. It could go the other way as much as it goes for the Eagles. It could go against them. So I think, and again, I'm not going to get on my soapbox about it, but the end game for me is, in sports, it's all about innovation. It's all about taking what's in the rule books and making it work for you, in some ways even better, right? The three-point shot was in the league for a long time. The Golden State Warriors made it a weapon offensively, and they were better at it than any other team. They had better shooters than any other team. They won 4 championships, right, in the NBA. Other teams have tried to duplicate it. They can't, because they're not all as good at shooting as the Warriors were when the Warriors were in their prime, with Steph and Clay and all them, right? And KD when he was there. In the NFL, you've had many, many times where teams get innovative with plays or play calling, and it helps them win. The 49ers brought a whole offense into the NFL in the 80s with the West Coast offense. And the 49ers and other teams after them, including the Eagles, benefited from that offense because they were able to run it correctly. 49ers won 4 championships in the 80s, and again one in 94, 95 with the West Coast offense. And the NFL did not try to ban the West Coast offense, and other teams weren't hooing and hawing about it, trying to get rid of it. They adapted to it. They found ways to defend it. The Pittsburgh Steelers were one of the all-time great defenses in the league. They had personnel to run their defenses the way they did. They were ferocious. It's the only time I can think of in the history of the league where the NFL put rules in the rule book to try to make the Steelers' defense less ferocious. But the Steelers had a lot of success before the rules were put in, and they had a lot of success after the rules were put in. The Green Bay Packers, a team that was on the forefront of trying to ban the tush push, going on about one play. The Green Bay Packers were a dynasty back in the 60s. What was it that everyone remembers about Vince Lombardi and that Packers team? The footage of him at the chalkboard doing, we got to put a seal here and a seal here, and you run up the alley, right? That was their play, and they ran it better than any other team, and they won championships. Teams couldn't stop it. So, hell, for the Packers to talk about one play, their franchise benefited from one play more than maybe any other team in the history of the game. In the 90s, the last time the Cowboys were good. Really good. They had the best offensive line in the league, and they had Emmitt Smith. So what? Did they try to take offensive linemen away because they were too good? They won those championships, the Great Wall of Dallas? They were winning championships? No. Teams adapted to it. They got better at trying to defend that offense that Dallas was running. This has been going on for years. This is the basics of sports. This is the basis of the NFL. You just have to go back and look at the history. The way the Eagles are playing is how teams have won for generations. It's just the Eagles have brought some of this stuff back to the forefront. It's nothing against the rules that they're doing. They're just doing it better. You know why? Because they practice it more than any other team. We talk about practice. But that's what they do, and they have the personnel for that one play to be successful. And it's not just because of that one play that they're successful. And if you think that is, I don't know what you're watching. Because I watch this team every game, and I know why they're successful. And it's not just because of the tush push. It's because they're a damn good football team on both sides of the ball. Last season was the most dominant I've ever seen this team, and I've watched this team since 1992. And this team had the most dominant season that I can ever remember. And it wasn't just because of the tush push. It's because they were a great team. People are trying to take that away from them by talking too much about this one play that might get run 4 or 5 times a game. Well, there's a lot of other plays that the Eagles run that are successful too. It just so happens that they're really good at a short yardage play, which is the annals of football, when the concept of football offensively is that you're tougher than your opponent and you push them back and you get yards if you're going to run the ball. That's the basis of football. Been going on for years. Because the Eagles run this play that they're just good at, because they practice it more than any other team, and they have the personnel with the offensive line that they put together, and the quarterback who they drafted, and the other personnel that they brought in, either draft or free agency or trade. They're better than anyone else. I'm sorry. We're not going to be, I'm not sorry. We're not going to be apologetic for it, because that's just how the Eagles roll. And other teams just have to do something better to defend it. That's all. And if you can't, don't complain over spilled milk. When you win a Super Bowl the way the Eagles won a Super Bowl against a dynasty and the Chiefs, it's not just because of one play. Because of a whole hell of a lot of other plays that happened in that game. They won their playoff games, even against Washington, when Washington kept trying to beat the snap and jump over how many times in a row. It wasn't just because of the tush push the Eagles won that game. Because of a lot of things the Eagles did to win that game. But that play goes in the forefront because that's the play that people remember them for. And I just think it's unfair to how great they were last season. Or maybe it's just because Philadelphia's not supposed to have nice things. I don't know. Maybe it's one of the two. Anyhow, I said I wasn't going to get on my soapbox and calm myself. I'm passionate about this stuff. I'm sorry. I'm unapologetically passionate about this stuff. But anyhow, that's really more for Season of the Fan with the Eagles. And if you like my content there, you want to tune in for those videos too. I want to give a big shout out to the Philly captain. The Philly captain recently won an Emmy, if I can talk right, won an Emmy as being part of that documentary on Netflix, The Turnaround. And it's a wonderful documentary. If you haven't watched it, I absolutely recommend it. It's not just about the Phillies, but it's about someone who's overcoming a lot of demons and depression and anxiety and trying to do something good. Trying to make something of himself and do something good and try to bring something good to the Phillies and the city of Philadelphia. And I followed the captain here for a few years now on YouTube, and please subscribe to him if you haven't already done so. And I was so proud of him and what he was able to do. You know, I do deal with my own depression at times and anxiety. It's not easy. And I know many, many, many other people do the same. And, you know, the captain was live last night on YouTube. He said, what I want to do, I just want to bring joy to myself. You know, I just want to forget about the darkness and be better for it, you know. And it's a tough thing. It's something that a lot of people struggle with, and the documentary kind of hones into that. And you know, if you don't know what it's about, basically, you know, the captain was one of the ones in the forefront when Trey Turner was off to a horrific start a few years ago, his first season as a Philly, and you know, the Philly fans at that one game gave him the standing ovation, and it kind of helped turn his season around a bit. Now, you know, yeah, we can talk about Game 6 and 7 of the NLCS after that, but, you know, it was a beautiful moment for Philadelphia because it painted the fans in such a good light when this fan base is really thrown to the wolves a lot, and all this negativity about what this fan base is. And you saw that one moment when the fans were coming together to try to get behind a player who was struggling. And who wasn't just struggling at the plate, but you could just tell it was weighing very heavy on Trey Turner the way he was struggling that season. And the Philly fans put their collective arms around him to give him support. And the Philly captain was one of the first on social media to say that this should happen. And so they made a documentary about it, you know, years later. Netflix did it. And it was nominated for 3 Emmys. It won the one. And I was just so happy for him and for that production team, but also for Philadelphia, because that's a victory not just for them, but for all of us, because of what light that painted us in times where our fans are just seen as ogres and these terrible people and this and that. And look, I mean, are we without fault? No. Do we bring that on ourselves a lot? Yeah, but a lot of fan bases do the same. It gets glorified here because it always has, and it always will. It's just one of those things that we kind of have to wear on our sleeve, like a badge of honor in a way. But I think it was a tremendous thing, and even if he didn't win an Emmy, just to be nominated for 3 Emmys, that's an incredible thing. He's a Phillies fan. You know, and he got involved. They made this documentary based off that moment, based off him, and it had a lot of success. And I'm very happy for him. And he brings a lot of passion in his videos. When he does his videos, particularly when he does his scoots around Philadelphia, and he's showing all these historical spots, and he loves his city, and he's a great ambassador. I've said this. I told this to him. I said that you paint this city in the light that it should be painted in. And he just does a wonderful job with his videos. And he admitted yesterday how tough it is. And it's very tough on him sometimes to do it. But he does it because it's something he loves to do. And I absolutely can see that in his videos. I've always seen it in his videos. When I first started following him today, it hasn't changed. You know, his attitude, his fervor for the city and everything around it, and his love and joy of doing what he does to bring the flavors of Philadelphia to anyone who wants to watch on YouTube. And there's many other content creators like that too. I know, Have a Day with Slice does it too, and these other content creators, Philly Waldo and all these other content creators, the Fandemic crew and everything. I mean, look, again, this city gets painted in a lot of dark shades. And every now and then it's nice to see people who paint it in the right shades that it should be painted in. And obviously, I'm a content creator from the Philly area too, and I love this city. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. There's something said about an area when you live there and you don't want to be anywhere else. And this is a very special place for me. And I know I've had battles with people, particularly about the sports, just because I love it so much. Maybe it's a misguided passion, but I wouldn't want to be anywhere else in the world but here. And it's not just because Mitchell & Ness flagship store is here. This is home. People say things against my home like anyone would feel. When things are said against their home, you're going to feel a way about it. And I've gotten a little overly upset sometimes, and I admit it. But when you're just passionate about where you live, and you know this, how special it is, and you wish other people could see it too, the way you see it. And it never will be that way, because if you don't live in a place, you're never going to see it as special as someone who does. But there's no other place in the world that I'd rather be. And I've seen a lot of good in here, and I've seen a lot of bad, but I see the good, and the good doesn't come out as much in the national spotlight as the bad does. And it is a shame, because there's a lot of good with this city. Are there things that should be better? Absolutely. But there's also a lot of good here. And the passion we have for our teams is one of those things that just, is it misguided at times? Yeah. You listen to sports talk radio in Philadelphia enough, you'll know. On Odyssey or something, you'll know. But it's a passion, and it's a love. And it's like anything else. It's like what I do now, what I do with my collecting. I love it. I wouldn't be me without it, I feel. It's the same with Philly. I wouldn't be me without Philly. Well, we're getting close to getting on Market Street here, and we're getting close to getting over to where I go for the parking garage, and then I head over to the flagship. Not really, I guess I should say knowing what I'm going to find in there. The sale's been going on for a few days now, so the racks may have been picked over at this point, but it's still kind of nice to just get out and just take a look around, make some mental notes for the future sales, what have you too, for the things that aren't on sale today. Say hi to the fellas. It's always nice to see the guys there at the store. Well, Phillies have been doing good. 8 straight wins. Their longest winning streak in quite a while. Even last season, they didn't have a winning streak of 8 games or more. 8 straight, including a win last night. They tried to give it away at the end, but in Sacramento against the A's, first time ever the Phillies have been in Sacramento to play a game. I told my buddy Azor from the FHS community who lives in Sacramento, I said, hey, look, the Phillies are in Sacramento for the first time ever. And he said, yeah, and they're already up 1-0. I said, yeah, leadoff home run by Turner. Speaking about the turnaround. And I got my 96 Ricky Bo jersey on today. Ricky Batalico was a relief pitcher for the Phillies and other teams years ago, who now does a great job as a analysis in the pre and post game shows for the Phillies, and also is a personality on Sports Talk Radio on the Fanatic. Ricky Bo. Speaking of passion, I mean, Ricky certainly brings. His nickname sometimes is Angry Ricky because he gets upset, particularly when a pitcher does something wrong, because obviously he was a reliever for many years. But I actually had his autograph many years ago. I met him at a function, the King of Prussia Mall, years ago. They used to have a Meet the Phillies deal. It was like a show that they filmed, like a half-hour show before the season. And Ricky Bo was on the team at that time. And he was one of them that was, part of that show being interviewed. And then afterwards, they would all sit and get their, autograph. I got Jimmy Rollins' autograph when he was a rookie. And he became my all-time favorite Philly, J-Roll. Speaking of the West Coast, speaking of Bay Area, all of a sudden now I forget where the garage. Oh, here it is. I'm like, wait a minute. I know the entrance is here somewhere. Turn the lights on. So I'm going with my 96 Ricky Bo, vintage authentic with the All-Star patch, Veterans Stadium. And I got this from Rare Vintage, so shout out to Rare Vintage, Casey at Rare Vintage. If you haven't followed them on IG, give them a follow. Just amazing stuff they have for sale. Bought from them a time or two over the years. All right, let's see. The thing about this lot, this is usually where I go to park for the store, or anytime I'm in the city. I think it's during the week. You have to put your credit card up against the thing to get the ticket. And I think on the weekends, you push the button and then the ticket comes out. It's weird. It's one of those things where, what's it going to do today? All right, here's a spot right here. My expert parking abilities, I can fit in there. All right, I'm not much the expert, but I did perfectly parallel park once in South Philly. I was very proud of that with the old Mustang. That was probably the highlight of achievement of me for my driving years. This is going to be a tight fit. But, MightyFan's not afraid of the challenge. I might hit someone, but I'm not afraid of the... All right, come on. Come on. Over 20 years of driving. Let's get in here. Yeah. We got this. You're no match for me, Kia. Ah! All right, now we back it up. And now we're going to tush push it in. Viva la tush push. Ah! My greatest parking achievement since I parallel parked in South Philly with the Mustang. The old Mustang years ago. I still miss that car, but it is what it is. Anyhow, we made it. We're at the parking garage, and Store opens at 10. I believe it's around 10 now. So I am going to make my way over to the flagship and see what I can see there, and then have a good rest of the weekend. But what do you all have to do, right? You have to have a great Memorial Day weekend. You always have, right? Have a great one, whatever you're doing, barbecuing or whatever, out and about, whatever whatever you find yourself doing this weekend. Have a great one. Let's all remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice for us to enjoy the way we live today. That's what this weekend's all about, is to remember them, those brave men and women who fought in all the wars over the years, and again made the ultimate sacrifice for us to live the way we do. We thank them every day, not just Memorial Day weekend, but every day. But anyhow, I hope you all have a wonderful holiday weekend. Thanks for all the support. I hope you enjoyed me going on about sports and jerseys and I don't know, whatever, anxiety. Again, congrats to the Philly captain on the Emmy Award winning there for the turnaround on Netflix. Very well earned, and awesome stuff. And a thank you to all of you again for the continued support to the channel. What do you always have to do? You have to leave those likes. Look, these are free things to do here on YouTube. So why don't do them, right? You leave the like, you hit the subscribe button if you already haven't done so, all right? Even if you're a Packer fan who's against the tush push, hit the subscribe button. All right. I almost had to say something where I said pause at the end, so I'm gonna let that one go. But but anyhow, have a subscribe, and make sure that you hit that bell icon. All right, so you want to be alerted to all future content from yours truly, right? So you want to hit the bell icon, and anything else I'm forgetting you have to do. All right, everyone. Well, thanks for watching as always, and enjoy the holiday weekend. And until next time, this is MightyFan signing off for now, but I'll see you soon. All right, everyone, take care.